Today I will be discussing Kay Redfield Jamison's memoir, An Unquiet Mind, which discusses her mental health journey over many years. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land on which I recorded this presentation, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I would like to pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. The presentation will address three core themes that were evident in Kay's memoir. These include identity, a desire to escape, and empathy and understanding. All of the additional resources that were used to make connections with Kay's story will be referenced in the notes section of the PowerPoint. The theme identity is employed in Kay's memoir to outline the unique set of characteristics and roles Kay has had in her life. Kay discusses her father also experiencing high moods and black depressions. Utilising the biopsychosocial model, Kay's father having manic depressive disorder is a predisposing and contributing factor for her development of the illness. Throughout the memoir, Kay refers to herself as having manic depressive disorder rather than bipolar. She explains that the term bipolar is strangely and powerfully offensive. This is applicable to the spirituality component of the Canadian model of occupation, performance and engagement, also known as CMOP, as she resonates and feels a sense of belonging with the term manic depressive disorder, as she believes it captures both the nature and seriousness of the disease. Further in the memoir, Kay discusses when she was seeking medical advice from a physician. She told him that she very much wanted to have children. He replied, "You shouldn't have children, you have manic depressive illness." Kay was upset and angry. This ruined their therapeutic alliance, as Kay did not write about seeing this physician again. It is critical that a clinician builds a safe and trusted environment where rapport can be established. This can be achieved by working collaboratively with the client. Kay had a desire to be a mother. This relates to the Moho principle, volition, and habituation. Volition comprises of one's beliefs, attitudes and values that are meaningful to them, such as Kay aspiring to be a mother. Habituation describes an individual's habits and roles. The role of being a mother was important to Kay, so much so that not being a mother was her single most intolerable regret of her life. Another important aspect of Kay's identity was to remain a clinical professional. Throughout Kay's highs and lows, she has still wanted to be able to pursue her career as a psychiatrist, and she has never had to give up those clinical privileges, as she has disclosed her diagnosis and medication adherence to professionals she has worked closely alongside. Being open with her colleagues about her mania and severe depressions allows them to communicate with Kay regularly to ensure she is competent to practice and provide clinical reasoning. Kay emphasises that during her manic depressive states, she had periods of feeling indifferent to life. Even though Kay was educated and a psychiatrist herself, she found it challenging to adhere to medication requirements and to seek additional help. During the early stages of Kay's manic depressive disorder, she describes her manias as absolutely intoxicating states, with feeling high enthusiasm, personal pleasure, and an incomparable flow of thoughts and ceaseless energy. This feeling enabled her to write new ideas for papers and projects. However, the feeling Kay got when she was in mania influenced her not to take her medication. Kay explains that the medications not only cut into these fast-flowing, high-flying times, they also brought with them seemingly intolerable side effects. Throughout the memoir, Kay discusses times when she felt like dying. She felt like her mind had turned on her. It no longer found anything interesting or enjoyable or worthwhile. Kay explains that she thought about the subject of death time and time again. Her psychiatrist wrote in his medical notes that Kay perceived the medication as a promise of a cure and a means of suicide if it didn't work. Not long after her psychiatrist wrote that medical note, Kay did use lithium as a suicide attempt. At the time, Kay was having a break under her family and psychiatrist's suicide watch and had a handful of pills. Luckily, her brother rang, and at the time she was in a semi-comatose state, and due to her slurred voice, he instinctively called her psychiatrist. In a timely fashion, Kay's psychiatrist created a treatment plan to aid Kay's recovery. Another time that Kay describes contemplating suicide was when she was feeling simply overwhelmed while studying at UCLA. She felt during this time that she was incapable of comprehending journal articles, and the high-pressure environment inhibited her to be able to write another paper. Kay says that when she was depressed, nothing came to me, and nothing came out of me. During ECM, I have learnt that either self-pressure or pressure from others can negatively impact the mental health of the individual. One of our weekly readings assessed the rates of suicide between different population groups. The article identified that mood disorder and method were predicting factors of suicide and serious suicide attempt. Kay had intent and method, which consequently resulted in a serious suicide attempt. The role of empathy and understanding in Kay's life was essential for supporting her through the agitated periods. Kay's family, especially her mother and her brother, played a vital role in assisting Kay through the darkness. Kay's mother, Dell, offered her empathy and understanding, which ultimately gave her life not once, but countless times. Kay describes her mother's support as providing her with powerful and sustaining countervailing winds. She provided not only emotional support, but also tangible support, which assisted Kay in completing activities of daily living, such as helping her with the laundry and taking her to doctor's appointments. Knowing that Dell was a supportive figure in Kay's life, and that in Kay's mania she experienced psychosis, the family work model could be used to aid Dell's understanding of manic depressive disorder to further support Kay. After Kay's first severe manic attack, her brother supported her in a financial and emotional aspect. Kay goes on to saying that she can never pay back the love, kindness, and understanding he gave her. Later in the memoir, Kay describes a time when she was suicidal. As I mentioned previously, her brother rang her and, due to her slurred voice, immediately called her psychiatrist. Kay's family played a big role in providing empathy and understanding, which helped her to seek medical support, therefore aiding her recovery. Kay was also able to confide in her friends and lovers. During her adolescence, she connected with friends who were going through similar experiences as she was. In her adulthood, Kay worked with a professor, and like Kay, also experienced quick and profound mood swings. On one occasion, they bonded over both rating their moods on a 10-point scale. This helped her to feel like she was in a safe haven. This is associated with the CMOP-E principle spirituality, as she felt a sense of meaning, connection, and most importantly, understanding with this professor. David, a lover, was someone who had accepted her for who she was and offered Kay kindness. This support encouraged her to believe in herself. She wrote, I felt for the first time that I was not alone in dealing with all of the pain and uncertainty, and it was clear to me that he genuinely wanted to understand my illness and to take care of me. Thank you for watching my presentation, and on the next slide are my references.